I am on page 79, and I'm looking at section A. Each question gives the lengths of the three sides of a triangle. Write yes if the triangle is a right triangle. Write no if it is not. So how are we going to know? Well, this first one I can already tell you is a no, because what goes with 3 and 4? In a Pythagorean triple, 3 and 4 go with 5. But let me show you actually how we're supposed to test this. And to do that, I'm trying to get my pencil back in its case. I'm going to take A, B, and C, 2, 3, and 4, and I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. This is the actual theory or formula that Pythagoras posed. So they tell me that the value of the A is 2, so 2 squared. The value of B is 3 squared, and that's supposed to equal 4 squared. This is problem number 1. 2 2s are 4, 3 3s are 9, and 4 4s are 16. So the question is this statement true? 4 plus 9 is 13, and that does not equal 16. So 1 is a no. And that's all we have to write. Is it a true Pythagorean triple? This one is a no. So for number 2, I have a 2, a 6, and a 7. And I'm short on space, so try to keep this orderly. A squared plus B squared is C squared, and we had a 2, 6, 7. So 2 squared plus 6 squared is 7 squared. 2 2s are 4, 6 6s are 36, 7 7s are 49. So this is 40 and 49, and those are not the same thing. So number 2 is a no. All it's asking me is, do these sides make a right triangle? They could make a triangle, but is it a right triangle? All right, then we have 2, 2, and 3. If you can do it in your head, that's fine. A squared plus B squared is C squared. And we had a 2, and a 3. 4 plus 4 is 9. And clearly that is not true. So number 3 is also a no. I'm having serious issues with my Apple Pen. All right, number 4. Oh, sorry, I forgot to. Number 4, we have a 3, a 3, and a 5. So let's see what we get. A squared plus B squared is C squared. 3 squared, 3 squared, 5 squared. 9 and 9 do not equal 25. It's 18. So no, this is also not a triple. I could have told you that if hypotenuse is 5 and one of the legs is 3, the other leg would have to be a 4 for this to work. All right, an 11, a 60, and a 61. So the numbers got a little bigger. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. If you want to master this, don't be lazy. Write it out every time until you're sick of it and you'll never forget it. So I have 121 plus 36 and 2 zeros. And I have no idea what 61 squared is, and I'm going to cheat. 61 times itself is 3721. So 3600 plus 121 is 3721. So this one turns out to be true. This is a yes. This is indeed a right triangle. Five, 12, and 13. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. 5 squared, 12 squared, 13 squared. 25 plus 144, 169, and sure enough, this one is a yes. I'm sorry if this is making you seasick. Me scrolling back and forth. Number 7. I have an 18, a 24, and a 30. A squared plus B squared is C squared. 18 squared, 24 squared, 30 squared. And I'm going to cheat on all of these. 18 times 18 is 324. 24 squared is 576. And I know that's going to be 900. I believe this is a yes. 900 on this side of the equation, 900 on that side of the equation. So number 7 is a yes. And I tell you what, rather than flip back and forth, I'm going to finish these and then I will come back. We'll put yeses and nos in. So number 8, don't panic on this one. A squared, B squared, and C squared, where A is 1, B is 1/3, and C is 1, B is 1 and 1/3, C is 1 and 2/3. So 1 times 1, that's not too bad. To get this one, you can use the calculator, but let me show you longhand. We have 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4/3, and 4/3 squared would be, my brain's ahead of my hand, 16 over 9. And then 1 and 2/3, that's going to be 3 plus 2 is 5/3, times itself. It's going to be 25 over 9. And I can use my knowledge of fractions to say, okay, that 1 that's sitting there is the same as 9/9. And once I put that in, we can see that this is indeed true. 9 plus 16 is 25. Oops. 9 plus 16 is 25. 9 is the common denominator. So this would be 25/9 on this side and 25/9 on this side. And this is not part of the problem. It's where I've done my figures. So this one is, in fact, a right triangle. All right, number 9. I think I might need the space, so let me bring it up here. Here's my formula. And we're looking at 7, 24, and 25. So 7 squared plus 24 squared is 25 squared. 7 sevens are 49. 24 times 24 is 576. We did it right here. And then 25 times 25, I believe, is 625. And so we just have to finish this addition. And indeed, that is true. So number 9 is also a yes. Number 10. Here's the formula. The numbers are 25, 60, and 65. 25 times 25, we just did that one. 6 sixes are 36, and each of them have a 0. And I have no idea about 65, so let me use the calculator on that one. And then 3,600 plus 625 is indeed a match. So number 10 is a yes. Number 11. I have 6.5. You can use the decimal or the fraction. 42 and 42.5. I'm going to use my calculator. 6.5 times itself is 42.25 with a decimal. 42 times itself is 1764. And 42.5 times itself is 1806.25. So I just need to add these two, and I'm using the calculator for that because I don't do math in my head very well. 1806.25. So this one is also a right triangle. This is a yes. It's a true Pythagorean triple. And then we have one more that I'm going to put right here. This is number 12. We have our same formula. So I have 8 squared plus 50 squared equals 51 squared. That's 64. 5 fives are 25, and we have 2 zeros. And then 51 squared is 2601. So 2500 plus 64 is 2564. And that is not equal to 2601. So number 12 is a no. So let me come back down here and finish these for you. Number 8 was a yes. Number 9 was a yes. Number 10 was a yes. Number 11 was a yes. And number 12 was a no. So all you're doing there is to see if you have a right triangle. In part B, we have to actually do some solving. Refer to the diagram to answer questions 13 and 14. So let me color my diagram. There's hypotenuse. There's one leg. And here is the other leg. Make sure you find your right angle. Hypotenuse is across from that. The pole is perpendicular to the ground, and that just means that that makes a right angle to the ground. Perpendicular means it has the right angle. How many feet of wire are needed to reach from the top of the pole to point A? So they want us to find hypotenuse. And to do that, we have a right triangle. If we do the Pythagorean theorem, we will know our answer. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. We do not know C, so leave it alone. Just bring it down. I know that A, one of the legs is 24, and one of the legs is 10. 24 times itself is 576. 10 times itself is 100. And those two together give us C squared. So add these together. That's C squared. And then to solve, we have to do the inverse, which is to take the square root. So C is the square root, use your calculator, of 676, and that is 26 feet. And you say, well, Miss Amanda, how do you know it's feet? Because this is feet and this is feet. You always want to check that. Make sure that your units are matching up. If one of them were inches, you would have to deal with that. So number 13, the answer is 26 feet. Number 14, if point A is moved 8 feet farther from the pole, how much more wire is needed? How much more is a clue that there's going to be subtraction? So learn to look for that phrase. That's very, very important. A lot of students miss math questions because they don't know that that phrase, those three words together, mean to subtract. So let's come up here. I'm going to do number 14 right here. And I'm going to draw a new triangle because it's new. We have this one right here. There's the right angle. The height of the pole isn't changing. This distance won't change. But they want me to add 8 more feet. So they want me to take that 10 feet and give some more feet to it. So they want us to say this distance is 8 more feet. And then they want me to recalculate the length of the wire. So we're now looking for this C, which is still hypotenuse, but it's extended. So really, this dimension is no longer in play. We are looking at a brand new triangle. It's not scaled, it's actually extended. So we need to figure out our new number down here. 8 feet plus 10 feet is a total of 18 feet for that leg. And now we can do our formula. So we have A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Let me mark, there was point A, so we moved it out this way. 8 feet. All right, so now we have 24 squared. That didn't change. But the new base is 18 feet. So 24 squared is what, 576? 18 squared is 324. And when we add those together, we will get c squared. That's 900. Take the square root. So c is 30 feet on our new triangle. So this is 30 feet. This one we found to be 26 feet. But we're not finished, because remember that how much more we have to subtract. So we're going to take the longer wire that we found minus the first wire that we found. Our answer is actually 4 more feet. Be very, very careful with that one. A lot of folks will get 30 feet and stop, but we have to extend it and then subtract. Refer to the diagram to answer questions 15 and 16. So again, here is a hypotenuse. Here is a leg. And I've lost the color I'm using for the other leg. I always, with these kind of problems, like to see my right angle, just to be sure that I've got hypotenuse in the right place. How far is it from point C, right here, to point B? So they want us to find that dimension. And for just a second, I'm going to cover this up. Don't do this on yours, because then you'll have to draw it back in there. But just for a minute, I want you to just look at this triangle. This is what we're looking for. Okay? And I think I'll leave it for the moment, and then I'll erase it and come back. So number 15, we have a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and we do not know c. A is 52, b is 39, and I need my calculator. No way I know that. 52 squared is 2704. 39 squared is 1521. And the sum of those gives me c squared. Sum means add. And then I take the square root of both sides, and I get 65. Makes sense? Hypotenuse is always the longest of the three sides. So this is 65. So the answer to this one is 65 miles. Then I need to uncover this stuff that I had whited out. And it says point D is 11 miles from point C. To the nearest whole mile, how far is it from point D, delta, to B, Bravo? So now we're looking at this dimension, given that we now have 39 plus 11. So for this one, I'm going to use 50. Is that right? Yes. Okay, so let's do our formula one more time. This is for number 16. We have a squared plus b squared is c squared, and we don't know c squared. A is now, is still 52. That didn't change. But this value became 50. So 52 squared, we did that above. 50 squared is 5 5s are 25 and 2 zeros. And those together give us c squared. So 2500 plus 2704 is 5204. Take the square root. Yikes. 72.139 is approximately C. But this says to the nearest whole mile. So you have to read very carefully. It's actually right there. So it is about 72 miles.